Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to the Operation Hill 100 channel where we do what? Focus on healing, humor, and hot motherfucking topics. What's up, you nosy motherfuckers? What's going on? What is going on? What is going on? So happy to have you all back in the biz and IE. And because I know you nosy just like me, let's get down to business. We won't even wait. Yes, we will. Before we do, ladies and gentlemen, please go hit the thumbs up on this video. Go hit the thumbs up on this video. Go hit the thumbs up on this video. And if you're new to my channel, please come subscribe, like, comment, share. We appreciate having all of our people here in the neighborhood. And let's get down to this Dear Deidre letter. Dear Deidre, my friend is in a 10-year lesbian relationship and I'm in a 6-year heterosexual relationship. We both have been through some ish. Our partners have both lied to us, cheated on us, mine low-key stole from me, and her woman physically abused her. I mean, we done been through it all. Just a little backstory. Trigger warning. My friend was SA'd, sexually abused, by her uncle from the ages of 6 to 14 years old. So she has a weird animosity towards men. I get it. So because of the things my partner and I went through, my friend doesn't really care for my man. Every time we have an issue, she's telling me I should leave him and I deserve better. The lectures go on and on until she upsets herself. The last scandal between my boyfriend and I caused my friend to be so upset, she stopped speaking to me. I want to reach out to her and fix our friendship, but I don't want her thinking that I need her approval to leave or stay with my man, and I don't want to offend her, but she needs to stay out of my business. But I'm having a hard time telling her this because I know she's just looking out for me. Please help. Signed, how are you placing blame when our story is the same? Oh, okay. Let me take a drink of my water. Like I always do. Okay. Okay, I can understand where you going with this, right? You guys know every time I do Dear Dejas, I give you guys the same, not the same. I give you guys some pretty staple um viewpoints to maneuver from, right? I try to give you some pretty stable viewpoints to maneuver from. And one of the things that I always talk about, if you've been here with Dear DJ from day one, then you'll know what I'm about to say, the B word. Ding, 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 ding. Boundaries. Boundaries, 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 boundaries. Okay, I think that's what the issue is here, and I think if this is not rectified, that is what will continue the pushing of the boundaries, right? Okay, first off, I appreciate that you have a friend that looks out for you. We all want to have friends and family members that have our best interests at heart, who do not want to see us getting hurt or disrespected or played or any of the sort. So no, I get it. I definitely get it. I get it 100% that your friend wants to be protective, right? I think a lot of times when people are giving, and I always make this suggestion, when people are giving advice and feedback, and I always do this for myself as well, when people are giving advice and feedback, if they're not self aware, then they end up giving the advice and the feedback more centered towards their feelings and their experiences as opposed to only thinking about the other person and the information they're sharing, right? So I always ask people, if a situation is too close to home for you, then say I rather not share because I can't be unbiased here, right? And a lot of people don't know how to do that and they don't know what that looks like, right? Because when you tell a person that maybe you should step back away from the situation because you may not be able to give feedback or good advice because you have your own personal experience from it, they tend to get offended. They tend to get offended, and it's nothing to be offended about. It's just the fact of the matter is a person has probably been through something similar to that situation, or they've been through something that situation is triggering. So because of that, they may want to step away from giving any feedback or advice, because then you're not doing your best for the person that you're trying to assist, right? But I realize that people don't know how to do that. I'll give you an example, right? Whenever I am in a healing heart session with a person and they're talking about their parental relationship, And they'll say things like, well, me and my dad don't have the best relationship, and maybe he abandoned me when I was young, or maybe he left me and my mother for dead, whatever the situation, and I don't want to build a relationship with him. I don't want to have anything to do with him. I don't want to talk to him. I'm treating him like a stranger. Now, I realize when that person says that, immediately that those feelings resonate with me, because I wish I had more time with my dad. So because of that, in the beginning, what I would do was I would now start telling that person they need to fix that relationship. That is their parent. They need to love on them. They need to do it while they're here. And all of these feelings are coming from my own personal experience, and not necessarily what that person is sharing with me about their experience. That wasn't fair to my participants. And when I realized I was doing it, I had to apologize. Some I even refunded their money, because I felt like I didn't service them properly, right? And am I saying your friend is a service provider? No, not at all. But to some degree, she is trying to give you some feedback and give you some support regarding your relationship. That can't be personal for her. She has to step outside of it and try to give you the best neutral advice she can. And if she can't, she has to step away from it. Right? Now, again, that's easier said than done, right? But I think that the comfort for her to be so enthralled and engulfed in your situation is because there is no boundaries when it comes to that situation. Okay? And that is not on a friend, my dear. That's on you. That's on you. Your relationship is your responsibility. Let me say that again for the folks in the back who did not hear me. Your relationship is your responsibility, right? So whatever goes on in your relationship is up to you and your partner to make that situation or break that situation. Nobody else outside of you and your partner is responsible for stepping in, uh, saying, doing, moving in any type of way that has any effect on your relationship, unless you let them. And see, now we're dealing with a different demon when you're inviting somebody in to your relationship to have feedback, to want to step in and do things, to now tell you what you should be doing and expecting you to do it. Now you're making your relationship someone else's responsibility. And sometimes we as friends, we can feel that way, right? We can feel that way. If you have a friend or a family member that you're very, very close with, and they're always calling you to now tell you about their relationship and vent and tell you how they're being poorly treated, you kind of do take on a responsibility like, damn, I got to save my people. I don't want to see that person get treated like this. I don't want to see them going through this. And that's a beautiful thing. You should always want to protect and save your people. But in this situation, that's not your responsibility. Your people should be protecting and saving themselves first. And then if they need assistance afterwards, then maybe you can step in. But I think when people come to you with their constant issues and concerns that they're having with their spouse or their partner, and you love and care about them, you want to save them. And that's fine. That's fine. That's a human emotion. That's actually a very compassionate and very, very empathetic emotion. I respect that. But at the same token, you have to also put the onus of the person who's in the situation for them to be responsible for themselves. You cannot always save them. And I think what's happening is you're putting somebody in your business because, so to speak, they can like fight for you when you should be fighting for yourself. And then what ends up happening is what's happening right now, which is now because you don't want to fight to remove yourself from this relationship or to even stand up for yourself in this relationship, you're now comparing her relationship to yours and getting disgruntled with her because she's only trying to look out for you, which you've been basically, quote unquote, asking her to do by sharing all of this information with her. Your relationship is your responsibility. Your relationship is your responsibility. Whoever you want to be a part of your relationship, you invite them in. Whoever you don't, you keep them out. But at the end of the day, your relationship is your responsibility. So your frustration with your friend is also a little bit of your fault, because she couldn't have so many feelings and thoughts and opinions about your relationship if half those things she did not know. And I know that's easier said than done, right? Because when we all growing through things with our spouses, we have our core people that you like, hello, let me tell you what this motherfucker done did. You know what I'm saying? Or the ones that you call boo grind, I can't believe this happened to me. You know what I'm saying? You do have that subset of people, right? And again, if that's what you need, if you need your village when you're not strong and when you're weak and you need them to help make you strong, there's nothing wrong with that. But you heard what I just said. You call on your village when you're weak and you need them to help make you be strong, not be strong for you. So you don't need nobody telling you that motherfucker's a piece of shit. You need to leave him. He ain't right for you. No, you need them helping and strengthening you so you can figure that out on your own. And again, I know it's easier said than done. When you love people, you get into protective mode. So that's exactly what your friend is doing. And vice versa. Because it sounds like you have some feelings towards her mate as well. So, I mean, it's a human feeling. The only thing is being able to step back and really, really assess, is this what I need right now? Do I need my village to come in and swoop in and take care of this for me? Or do I need to stand on my 10 and on my square and take care of it myself? And I'm going to say this, from the sounds of your letter, it sounds like you're an adult. So I think that it's time that you start taking care of it yourself. It does not matter what outsiders feel about what's going on in the inside. Only you and your spouse understand and know what that is on the inside. So because of that, now it's up to you and the spouse, or just you alone, to figure out what this looks like for you. Alrighty, so the number one issue between you and a friend is some boundaries have been pushed, but I also tend to believe that no boundaries have been set. And I don't think boundaries have been set because I personally feel like you might like being saved, and you might low-key like when your friend swoops in when things are not okay. It's just that right now, you're feeling like, oh, it's kind of okay, so you don't want to hear that feedback at this moment. You're not up to hearing all the shit she feel about your spouse now because y'all good. That's the risk you run when you're keeping that person enthralled and engulfed in your relationship. Your relationship is your responsibility. So I would start with this. I would start with maybe keeping some things to yourself. Keeping some things to yourself. The one thing that I've learned about being in relationship, and this is not just romantic relationship, I learned this more importantly in friendships, is that when you let outsiders in, you fuck up inside. Okay, case in point. All right, your apartment, always spick and span, always beautiful, always decorated lovely, always a nice sanctuary for you to come home to. And then you have a party. Somebody ripped the couch. Somebody smudged some paint off the wall. Somebody break a vase, a glass. Somebody kid that marked up the freaking table. Now that your sanctuary and your home and all that cleanliness that you made sure that you worked so hard for has now been jeopardized because you let outsiders in. That is how you look at relationships. When there is an issue with you and the person you're in relationship with, that is between you and the person. Your relationship is your responsibility. And again, this applies to all relationships. I'll use my mom. If I'm having okay, I'll give you guys a better example of when I was having an issue with my mom, right? My family is in a group chat, right? And if my mom, one time when my mom had an issue with me, she shared her issue in the group chat. Now I got annoyed because I felt like number one on the list, this issue that you have with me has nothing to do with everybody else. So I kind of almost felt like you were not trying to resolve the issue. You were trying to embarrass me in front of everybody else. But again, that was just my feelings. So I actually shared that with my mom. I called her and I said, listen, Mom, I don't have an issue with you addressing me. You're actually one of the few people that I do allow to address me and that I take heed to and I listen to closely because I love you and I trust you and I respect all of your feedback. You raised me. You made me the woman that that I am. But I just feel a way when you do it publicly because it makes me feel like you're more scolding me than trying to assist me, right? So my mom said, okay, I hear you. Got it, Khadij, so on and so forth. And the very next time she had an issue with me, she blurted it out in the group chat again. Okay, girl. So when she blurted out in the group chat, instead of doing what I normally do, which is now I'm chiming in to say, no, mom, it wasn't like that. And wait, let me explain. And hold on. That didn't say, I didn't say two words. I sat silent, right? As a matter of fact, I put the whole group chat on silent and I let them figure it out. Because guess what? Me and my mom's relationship is me and my mother's relationship. Me and my mother's relationship is not the group chat's relationship. Because now everybody's going to come in the group chat, pick a side, say who did what wrong, say who said what wrong, and now they both analyzing what we're saying to each other to see, listen, how we get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. On top of that, having all of that outside influence could have altered the relationship that me and my mom share. I wasn't going to stand for that. I love my mother. I'm very close to my mother. So before it got there, I checked completely out of that group chat. I gave my mother some time. When she realized what she did wrong, she reached back out to me and I reiterated. I do not like the way that makes me feel, Mom. The reason why I didn't reiterate it in the chat, because at that point you had already let outsiders in and I would have been continuing that behavior had I did so. That's not what our relationship has ever been about. And I realize, and I hope that after that conversation my mom realizes that our relationship is our responsibility. And I had to put that boundary up to show. Okay, so my dear, do I understand what you're saying 100% about your girl, your homegirl being in the same situation? That's neither here nor there, though. That's neither here nor there. No matter what she has going on with her spouse, you're outside looking in. That's neither here nor there. But what you do have to keep in mind is when you're allowing her to overstep her bounds and now step into your relationship, you need to refrain from sharing so much information. Because people cannot penetrate what they're not aware of. Let me say that again. People cannot penetrate what they're not aware of. How many people do you know secretly dated, then you look up and see they got married? Nobody knew. That's how they was able to keep their love so sacred, because nobody was even aware of their relationship. Okay? So, first steps, my dear, is you need to refrain from sharing every little thing. Now, the major things, of course, you share with your circle, right? I always tell people one thing about women: when they're ready to really leave a relationship, not when they thinking about it, not when they thought they wanted to, when they really ready to leave a relationship, you don't hear nothing from us. Nothing. Meanwhile, while you trying to leave it, it's all you hear. Let me tell you what Harry did today. Let me tell you what Harry did yesterday. Let me tell. And me and Harry went through that before. All this sort of shit. You're like, oh Lord, she driving me crazy with Harry. But when that woman is ready to leave Harry, I guarantee you how this gonna go. You're gonna meet up with your friend group. Y'all kick it. Hey, y'all meet up again the next month. Kick it. Hey, y'all meet up third month. Yo, what's up with Harry? I'm not with Harry no more. Girl, when the fuck you and Harry broke up? We broke up 3 months ago. You ain't say nothing. There was nothing to say. There was nothing to say. I didn't need to involve anybody in my decision making. The decision was made and that nigga's up out of here. So that's number one. You have to now refrain. Talk to God. Talk to God. That's what you do. You talk to God. Talk to God and then allow him to lead the situation wherever it needs to go. Stop giving so much information to your friend. And then also be honest and say to her sometimes when you do see her overstepping boundaries, I don't need your feedback right here. I just need your support. And if she doesn't have that to offer, then what are we doing here? But that's something for you to figure out in your next Healing Heart session. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope I was able to land a plane, and I hope that all of my emphasis that I put on boundaries, you guys take heed to, because I promise you, my post-40 life, the boundaries that I put up, I received a phone call yesterday, right? Now, normally when I see this number on my phone, this person is calling to gossip. But within the last, I want to say year or two, I put up boundaries surrounding that. And you know what that person called to do yesterday? Check on me, see how I was doing, and set up a date to hang out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because the boundary has been set. I don't want to hear no bullshit. I don't want to hear no fuck shit. And now you're aware of that. That came from me setting my boundary. That came from that person respecting it. So I hope you guys take heed, because boundaries will save and change your life. And I can also help you learn how to build boundaries without being offensive and disrespectful. Even though folks may still feel disrespected and offended, that would be on them. You know your intention. So if you need my help and I was able to land a plane, please come get your Operation Heal 100 Heart sessions, my dear. I would love to hear from you and see how this went. In the meantime, in between time, you guys like, comment, share, subscribe, and thank you again for tuning in. Enjoy your day.